Hey guys, welcome to this Linux course. And in this particular session, we'll be looking at Unix process controls commands or Linux process control commands. So moving ahead, you can see here a command issued in Linux starts a new process which invokes a 5-digit unique ID called process ID or PID. Using the process ID, the process can be tracked. So let's say if you type in a command, that particular command will invoke a process. So if a process is invoked, obviously that process should have a process ID. So once it invokes that ID, using that ID you can track that particular process. It is basically reverse checking it. So let's say I am trying to find out a pattern in a particular document, or I'm trying to do an ls, or I'm trying to find the present working directory provided here, pwd. So when I type in pwd and hit enter, obviously it will start a process by using that process's unique ID. So once that happens, once it is called, that particular process can be tracked using the process ID. So that's what they are meaning to say here. So now initializing a process, tracking a process, stopping, and other processes. So we'll look at these steps. First, initializing a process. A process can be initialized in two ways: foreground and background. So foreground, every process runs in foreground by default when it is started. So when I type in pwd, it will show you the output in the terminal. So it is a foreground process. Runs in the background, allowing other processes to run in parallel. So basically, let's say in another terminal there is another command running, and in this terminal you can use an and in the back, which will basically push your command to the background. So now it will be a background command. So let's do this. Let me open the terminal and I will zoom it in. So ls pwd and no such file or directory. So pwd basically is a foreground process, and pw and will become a background process. So you can see here 11215 is the process ID for this particular process. So first it invoked the process ID. So it checked whether any process is running in already running or not. If it is already running, then it will run parallelly. If it does not, it will again execute it and show you the result. So the result is over here and it shows it's done. So this is what it means. So normally when you run any command, it will run in the foreground. Once you use an and in the end, then it will become background. So let's do for ls ls and. So let's do this, ls and pipe pwd and. Okay, so I think I'll remove this and I'll put an and here. So you can see the second process has completed. So let us try once again, ls pwd and. So now you can see it first did this particular process, but it did not do the second one because it took the r. So now let us use and. So now you can see it did both the processes. That is, it first did ls, then it did pwd, but it did it in a single go. Basically, it considered it as a single process and it executed it, but it also considered it as a background process. That's why it is showing the process ID as well as the done mark. Now going ahead, next, tracking a process. To track a process, you have the command ps. We'll look at these commands in depth in upcoming modules. We are looking these right now, like we'll be looking at these a little bit, but in the few upcoming modules we'll be looking at these commands in depth, ps, and there are still more commands. We'll be looking at them in depth later. So right now let's just go ahead with the presentation. So next, all running processes can be tracked using the following commands: ps. So now let us try this command, ps. So you can see two processes are running, one is bash, one is ps. Now if I do a ps aux, it will show every single process which is running. So you can see that over here, the root process, who is running the process ID, and this is basically this is basically an uninteractive document. It shows all the processes which have ran, the process ID, and it shows every single thing. Even it shows ps aux as a process. So it just shows all the processes which have run, which is running every single thing. So that's what aux means. So even ps shows the current running processes, and let's say pwd and I'll do a ps. So right now it won't show because it has to run in synchronization, only then it will show. Now going back, so this is this is why you use PS, or it will show all the running processes. So for example, I can show this. So let's connect to the internet. Okay, so let me zoom this in. Now I'll ping google.com. I'll teach about the ping command in the later modules. Now just so you can see ping is running. So now let me do PS. Okay, I think it does not know it's running here. So let me open another tab and do PS. So it's still not showing it. So PS ping. So I can do this. So let me close this right now. Let ping run. I'll close this. So let me open another terminal. I'll again make it bigger. So now let me do a PS aux. So now you can see another process was running. I'll make this bigger. You can see every single process which ran in this particular system, and you can also see their process IDs. You can see that over here, but the current processes which are only running, only that PS will show, nothing else, because it's not an interactive command. It is basically a document. So let's leave that. Next, moving on. Next, another command is there. So you can see a running process can be tracked using the following commands. So you can see UID, PID, PPID, time terminal, time CMD. Basically, this is the command. So UID is basically the user ID, or the ID of the user running the process. And then second is PID, the process ID. So you can see the process ID as well. PPID is the parent process ID. If this particular process has a parent, let's say you are running Firefox, then opening 10 different tabs, so it might have a process ID and then sub IDs. And then C is CPU utilization of that particular process. So here in this case there is no CPU utilization. And then S time is start time of the process, when did this particular process start. And then TTY is the terminal associated. We are using only one terminal, that's why it's showing PTS/0. It's the 0th terminal. And then time is CPU time taken by the process, so how long it took. Basically, we didn't those processes did not run and it did not take much time, so that's why it is showing 0000000. And finally, CMD is the command of the process. Now this is what I was showing you. PS aux lists out all the running processes for all users. It not just shows for this particular user, it shows the running processes for every single users right now. That's what I showed you, PS aux. And then PS minus U username will show all the running processes for one user. So this is an interesting command. So we'll try this. So PS aux, it's minus U, so I don't need aux. PS minus U and IntelliPad. Okay, so right now it's showing every single process running under IntelliPad. You can see that. So print to mouse, VBox client, bash, GNOME terminal. So this is the terminal. That's what it's showing. Let me run Firefox and let's try this once again. And now you can see Firefox is also been added. So basically it is showing, so if I do PS, it only shows these two. If I see for the user, it is showing Firefox, PS, bash and GNOME terminal, because all of these are running currently. So I'll just close this. I don't require it. Now if I do this again, it should not show Firefox because I stopped it. So it was showing web content as well. So right now, as I've closed it, so did I close it? That's the question here. No, I did not. That's why it is still showing close tabs. And so let's run it once again. So now you can see there is no Firefox because we've closed the process. So this is one way to track the process under a particular user. You can check that. And then the next one is stopping a process. So let us do this. So let's again run Firefox, and so you can see the process ID over here. Let me run it once again because it will show a single process ID. So I can use that process ID to kill the process and it will automatically close this particular console. So now you can see Firefox. This is the process ID. I have copied it. Going back, so let us understand the syntax. First, if a process is running in the foreground, that means let's say you are running ping. So if you are running ping, if you hit Control C, which is a keyboard interrupt, it will automatically stop the process. For example, let me do a ping IntelliPad .com. So now if I do a control C, so you can see it automatically terminated it. So now this is one way of stopping a process. The second way is to use the command kill. So kill term signal. So this is where you enter the signal, and this is where you enter the PID. So signal is what tells what exactly this particular kill command should do. In order to stop a background process, use the following command. So coming down, take a look at the list of terminate signals. So let me give kill -L. So this shows every single signals available in your Linux distribution. So you can check it over here: sig hub, sig int, sig buzz, and then there should be a sig abort, sig kill is there, sig alarm is there, sig stop is there. So all of these are different signals. We'll be learning about signals as well in the further modules. And then there is a cat and command. So example, stop the cat command running in background by, so we'll do this example. We'll run the cat command in the background. So once we've run the cat command in the background, then we'll kill this process using its process ID. So that's what we are going to do. And so let's go ahead and do this. So I'll close this. I will open another window. I will run the cat command. It automatically stopped. I'll just copy this. So now kill. And I think we should use the number 9, -9. So -9 is basically terminate the process abruptly. It will kill the process abruptly. And -9, so it was already stopped, so it killed the process. So you can see right now there are two processes. So one is let this run. We'll close that as well. Let me do this ping telepat.com. So let this run. Let us do a PS. Right now it's not showing, but we have the IP. So I'll just copy this. Still running. So let's -9 and the ID. I think this is the ID. Let me check once again. I've pasted it. So I think it would have killed the process. So yeah, the process stopped. So basically it killed it. So now let us do the same thing with Mozilla. So now first I'll do psaux, and you can see every single process running. And for Firefox, you can see here, and Firefox Content Pro, Firefox Content Pro. So I'm going to just stop this particular. I'm going to kill this. So kill -9, which is for terminating, or sig abort. So this will basically, it is sig kill. This will basically kill the process. So kill -9, and I'm pasting it. And you saw the Mozilla window disappeared from behind. Basically it killed the process. So let me do a psaux once again. So now you cannot see the Firefox process running because I have killed it. So this is how you can use the kill command to kill the process. So we did that particular example. We used Mozilla and we saw how to kill a process. So now finally we have the top command. So we'll look at top command in the next session. Thank you.